The Legend of Magelang. Upon a time, a prince from the Matter Sultanate fought fiercely against King Jin, who lived in the dense forest. Fierce battle between a Matter prince and a King Jin is part of the origin story of the name Magelang. When Sultan Hadiwijaya, ruler of the Pajang Sultanate, died, his adopted son, Raden Sutawijaya, replaced him. The center of government was moved from Pajang to Mataram. Raden Sutawijaya ruled with Panembahan Senopati ing Alogo. After Mataram grew into an increasingly busy city, Panembahan Senopati began to think about expanding his territory. And that day, Panembahan Senopati planned to open a second forest, a dense forest located west of the Progo River. Raden Purbaya, son of Panembahan Senopati, was then given the mandate to carry out this task. Panembahan Senopati provided him with an heirloom called the Curry-Plaired Spear.
Hey, in that forest reigns a very powerful King Jin. I gave Curry-Plaired's magical heirloom spear to face the King Jin.
Bringing a squad of experienced special soldiers, Raden Purbaya entered the dense and famously haunted Kadu Forest. When the horse's footsteps were getting closer to the second forest, Raden Purbaya and his troops were surprised by a Jin with a scary face and a very large body.
Hi, who are you, and what is your purpose for coming here?
My name is Purbaya, the son of the Panembahan Senopati who is based in Mataram. The purpose of our visit is to carry out the duties of Panembahan Senopati. Panembahan Senopati gave us the mandate to open this second forest as a village.
I have lived in this forest for thousands of years, and during that time I have ruled without anyone bothering me. If Panembahan Senopati gives you the task of clearing this forest, then I and the whole army will certainly block it.
Can you explain what the meaning of blocking is?
Along with my entire army, we'll fight with you to defend this forest.
Raden Purbaya immediately drew Curry-Plaired Spear.
Prepare with your entire army. I will continue to carry out the mandate of Panembahan Senopati.
The fight was inevitable, armed with the heirloom spear weapon. Curry-Plaired Raden Purbaya fought against King Jin, ruler of the forest. Fierce fighting also occurred. When the Jin troops attacked Raden Purbaya's cavalry troops, after some times, the fierce battle between Raden Purbaya and the King Jin began to show results. King Jin was increasingly pressed. Curry-Plaired Spear made King Jin even more discouraged. When the pressure gets worse,
I've given up. I will show you.
Knowing that their king had fled, the King Jin's morale fell. The Mataram cavalry easily crushed them. After successfully overcoming the problem with the King Jin and his troops, Raden Purbaya led his troops to open the forest. Not long after, part of the Kadu forest had become a small, very fertile village. Many residents came to settle in the new village. Among those who settled in the new village were Curry Karamat, his wife Nyori Bojum, and their son Roro Rambat. Not long afterward, Roro Rambat married a Mataram officer named Raden Kuning. The wedding party was held very lively. The excitement of the party also attracted the attention of King Jin, who was looking for a way to take revenge. King Jin seemed to have found a way to take revenge. He changed himself into an ordinary human. The next day after the wedding party was over.
Who are you?
I am a traveler who wants to try his luck in this village. If Kyori is willing, I would like to work as a servant in Kyori's house.
Okay, this village is still in the development stage. If you are willing to work hard, you have great opportunities in this village.
Thank you very much. I will do my best.
Suddenly, he worked very hard to cover his disguise. When night fell, thin white smoke came out of its mouth. The white smoke spread throughout the village. In the morning,
What's wrong with you? Why are you so early in the morning as if you're being chased by King Jin?
Danger! This village is in danger.
Calm down. What danger do you mean?
Some of our villagers and soldiers experienced sudden illness.
What are they sick with all of a sudden? Has it been treated?
Those who were stricken with the sudden illness have all died.
What?
Without waiting long, Raiden Purbaya immediately saw a row of corpses, which were not small in number. He was very surprised by the strange disease that attacked the villagers and soldiers.
What kind of strange disease is this?
I don't know, Raiden. Yesterday there were no symptoms. This morning I received a report that there were several residents and soldiers whose entire bodies suddenly experienced pain, but just as I was about to check, they were all dead.
Be more alert. I will go to Panembahan Senopati to report this matter.
Raiden Purbaya immediately went to Mataram to report the strange disease to Panembahan Senopati. Panembahan Senopati, who heard the report, was very surprised. That night Panembahan Senopati meditated in his private room. He tried to get instructions from the Almighty about the strange disease outbreak that hit the new village in the Kadu forest. The next day, Panembahan Senopati immediately summoned Raiden Purbaya. How surprised Raiden Purbaya was that the strange disease outbreak was caused by King Jin, who had disguised himself as a servant in the house of Kuri Karamat. Raiden Purbaya quickly returned to meet Kuri Karamat, without resting. After Raiden Purbaya met the Kuri Karamat and conveyed the cause of the strange disease outbreak, Kuri Karamat was really angry when he heard what Raiden Purbaya said. Unfortunately, suddenly, the incarnation of King Jin heard their conversation. Without waiting long, he immediately ran away. Knowing that he had suddenly run away, Kuri Karamat chased him even though Raiden Purbaya had prevented him. Kuri Karamat, who was hit by extreme anger, fought and suddenly changed into his original form. The fierce fighting caused many trees to fall here and there. It turns out that the power of King Jin is still above that of Kuri Karamat. When Raiden Purbaya and his troops came to the place, they only found the body of Kuri Karamat. Bojum, who followed, was very sad to see that her husband had died and was killed by King Jin. The place where Kuri Karamat was buried would later be known as Kramit village. Not long after Kuri Karamat was laid to rest, Nyai Bojum hunted down Radyajin. Fierce fighting ensued again. Raiden Purbaya did not expect that Nyai Bojum would hunt down the king of Jin. He immediately followed. But once again Raiden Purbaya was late. Nyai Bojum has died at the hands of King Jin. The place where Nyai Bojum was buried was later known as Bogman village. Seeing more and more victims falling, Raiden Purbaya called to Menging Mertoyudo.
To Menging, I order you to track down the whereabouts of King Jin, but remember, don't face it alone. You just track his whereabouts and report to me. We need a lot of soldiers to catch King Jin.
Accompanied by 2 soldiers, Temenging Mertoyudo tracked down the whereabouts of King Jin. It didn't take long for them to see the figure of King Jin under a large tree, but unfortunately their existence was known by King Jin. Fierce fighting was inevitable again. Raiden Purbaya and his troops returned to bury the victims of King Jin. When Raiden Purbaya and his troops arrived, they only found the figure of Temenging Wiro Yudo who had died. The place where Temenging Wiro Yudo was buried became known as the village of Mertoyudo. The increasing number of victims made Raiden Purbaya speed up his pursuit of King Jin. Finally, Raiden Purbaya found a way. He ordered his soldiers to move in a circle like a ring to surround the forest where the King Jin was. In this way it is hoped that the king will not escape. The strategy worked. The King Jin had no chance to escape. He was forced to fight with Raiden Purbaya, who was armed with the spear Kuri Plaret. Raiden Purbaya, who had a higher testimony, finally managed to end the resistance of the King Jin. The King Jin fell to the ground. After being penetrated by Kuri Plaret's spear, King Jin's sprawled body slowly evaporated and disappeared into the air. Meanwhile, Raiden Purbaya's success in using the bracelet strategy to capture the King Jin meant that the entire area would later be called Magelang.